And welcome to the Fine Film Podcast. I'm your host, Sam George, and today I'm joined with two very, very special guests, Nem and Dane.
Hi, I've never met you before.
Hi, how's it going? My name's Sam. Nice to meet you.
Welcome.
I've heard great
to the
things.
podcast.
I've heard great things.
I've heard very good things. Mandy.
Is
it the best Nick Cage movie?
Probably, in my opinion.
You shut your fucking mouth.
How about you watch it and tell me yourself?
No.
Just not a Nick Cage fan.
Not a Nick Cage
Not a Nick
fan.
Cage fan.
Oh, no, Nick Cage, but I don't know why you guys like this movie so much.
Well, watch it and find out. It's that simple.
You think he's a loser, don't you?
He's a bit of a loser. He's really good, very good actor, but I think he had his peak and prime.
But you haven't
His
seen
days
Mandy.
are over? You think his days are over?
No, your days are over, but you have your time in the sun and it's over. And now I feel like he's just
Now
scrapping,
he's
scrapping.
Yeah, like
and
what?
now this one gem you guys have found have come out. And
But that's what I mean. But
it's like you go for 100 girls, you get one. That's what it feels like.
yeah, but you still get that
I'm
one.
making 100 movies, one's going to be good.
Nick Cage
Yeah.
can get 100 girls.
And they're all the one.
The one.
No, what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
but still, like, do you then just negate that one just because it's that one in 100? Like,
No.
It's like a diamond in the rough. It's a diamond in the rough. Huh?
Going off the 99 before that.
But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
you know what? Look.
Yeah. That's another podcast.
Another time.
We don't have to bring
For
that
another
back up.
time.
But yeah.
Today-
If you haven't seen Mandy, go see Mandy and watch our podcast on it.
Yeah. Watch our podcast.
I
Subscribe. Subscribe, okay? How about you do
How
that?
about somebody like a fucking video?
Can you get a fucking
I
like?
40 views for 4 likes. Like,
Donate
come on.
money while you're at it.
At least one comment, please.
It's just something. Anybody say something.
Say that you're out there. Anyway, we're here to do a review of a very interesting film called The Lighthouse. Mm-hmm. The Lighthouse, I'll describe it as a wild black and white sea drama. Mm. Do you think I made that up myself?
I think
No,
you
I
did.
did
No,
not.
you didn't. No, I was going to say a sea drama.
What's a sea drama?
A wild black and white sea drama.
Oh, like
We're going to the sea.
Ah, yep.
Yeah.
I thought like a C grade drama. Like
Why are we reviewing it? we're giving it a low rating immediately. It's available on Amazon Prime.
But I think more mainstreamly, it's also like a psychological horror / thriller.
I think it's also
Because I
categorized
think,
as
yeah.
psychological horror.
Yeah, I think it's
It's kind of similar to Mandy.
It's not really, no. I think, they share
Maybe a
some aspects. But
similar genre,
yeah.
but not really.
No, I wouldn't say so. No, I think this is a psychological thriller more than it is a psychedelic horror. That's what makes it.
Or a black and white sea
Sea
drama.
drama. We'll go with both of those.
It's directed by Robert Eggers, who's
Robert.
previously done
Rob.
The Witch,
Oh,
which is a really
exactly.
interesting film as well. It was made on a $4 million budget, and it made about 18 million at the box office, which is
yeah.
Solid.
really solid.
This is what? Triple the profit? More than triple?
More than triple.
If you did the
You're the teacher, Dave.
calculations, I think that's triple.
Wait, 4, 8. It's more than quadruple. the
Yeah,
profit.
quadruple the profits. Man.
Robert
Same
Eggers,
stuff.
you son of a bitch.
He's done it again.
So it's his second film following The Witch. The Witch came out in 2015. The Lighthouse came out in 2019.
Jesus,
It stars-
4 year wait.
Yeah, I know. It takes time
takes time
to create art.
Yes.
Well, it wasn't a wait, actually. I don't know if you've seen, but he was writing The Lighthouse simultaneously with The Witch.
Yeah.
And he couldn't get funding for The Witch.
He researched the fuck out of The
Yeah.
Lighthouse.
Yeah.
And then he passed it on to his brother because The Witch got funding. And he said, you continue this story.
Yeah.
I'm going to focus on The Witch. Witch came in, was a hit.
Yeah.
And then he was pretty much able to get funding then from The Lighthouse, and he kind of went back.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it was a simultaneous job that he was doing with both The Witch and the Lighthouse.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
He's-
why don't you ever finish my scripts when I give you?
Listen to me, Eggers.
Yeah. What's the go there?
Look, man, I'm not on trial here. I'm just here to talk podcast.
I know what to tell you, man.
I don't know what you want me to say, man. I'm just sort of drink a beer and talk about a movie, man. Come on.
Well, I want my scripts back.
There's only one copy of this.
I did make a scene.
The movie stars Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe. It's essentially just the two of them in the entire film.
Yep.
They're stuck in a little room or at this lighthouse, and they carry the entire film. I'll quickly read the synopsis, and then we'll get into some personal feelings about the film. In a remote island, Efren Winslow arrives as a lighthouse keeper and assists his elderly supervisor, Thomas Wake. As days pass, Winslow is haunted by strange and mysterious visions. Sounds interesting, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If you first read it and you're like, what?
How could this be? Yeah.
What could it
It's a horror.
It's a sea drama.
It sounds like a black and white sea drama.
First three things that pop to mind is sea drama.
Yeah.
Horror.
So let's go around the room and give it your rating, because we're going to test it against the Rotten Tomatoes score.
Okay.
Even if you know what the
Yeah.
score is, Nem.
Yeah. No.
Give it your personal rating.
Yeah.
And where would you rate it out of 100?
I would give it a 9.5. So 95 if it was a run to 5 was editor for
Listen,
Rotten
you answered my
Tomatoes.
fucking question.
95. 95 out of 100.
Dane Barron?
For me personally, or what are my powers of deduction?
Nah,
No,
personally.
You personally.
Personally, I'll give it a 66.
You get the fuck out of this room.
Why is he here? Who invited this
You made this guy. What was that, 65?
66. What was that, 42?
66.
I like that you've given it
66 is fresh.
66.
It's still fresh, isn't it?
Yeah, 60s is...
Well, like I said, didn't get it. I didn't get it.
Okay.
So I'm just going to be honest straight off the bat. I'm not going to pretend like I knew what was going on.
But don't you... Okay, sorry, yeah, did you want to say
I
something?
think that we're going to make a really good case that might make you understand the film a little
like,
bit
put it
better.
to like an 85 or something.
I feel like
that?
by the end of this session, we're going to get that up to about a 70.
Yeah. We're going for 4 points. We're aiming for 4.
Okay.
Really? A 66?
Not
That's...
65.
That's still fresh.
66.
I think... I know, but I
Still
think
fresh.
cinematography alone gets it up to like a 75.
Well,
Every single shot,
that's
man,
like if I watch
from the
Planet
start.
Earth and I give that 100 just because it's cinematography.
You would give it 100.
By the way,
If you haven't seen it, I'll give it 100.
Give it 100 right now.
Dude, okay, that's fair enough. Okay.
66.
That's
Personal rating?
Yeah, that's
Can I
fine.
give
Yeah,
it?
you can have
Can
your...
I do the guess?
Yeah.
So you don't know it?
I don't know what it
Okay.
is. I'm going to guess 90. Just because it's that smug. This
It's,
movie.
it's
not
smack,
So schmug.
Yeah.
It's pretty schmug.
it's smack bang
Smack bang.
90%.
Yeah.
You guessed it.
You guessed it.
Did I not guess the
You've
last
actually
one as
guessed
well?
it in a previous episode.
Yeah.
You also guessed it.
Yeah.
So
I think
I'm
on-
getting very suspicious of you guessing these Rotten Tomatoes.
He knows what's coming up. He
No,
Googles all this
I'm
stuff and
pretty
he
good.
tries...
I'm pretty good with the guessing game.
You know what?
Yeah.
I think you're wearing a wire.
How do you know all these things? I don't trust him.
I think he's a cop.
So what was your personal?
I would also give it a very high rating. I really liked it watching it the first time. I rewatched it recently, and I like it even more.
That's exactly
Yeah.
the same as me.
Yeah.
So I was a lower score, and then rewatching it,
Yeah.
it's just bumped it up to another level for me. As
I
well.
think I would also give it around 90, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah,
So I think I agree with that.
yeah,
You've got it pretty high, 95.
yeah. I loved it. Yeah, I did.
We'll get into why you
We'll
love
get
in a
into it,
second.
but yeah, I did. I did love it. 95. I would.
So let's break down the film in a little bit more detail. So my first note was that the language they use in this film is very interesting. So
Yeah.
it's a old timey down east Maine accent, apparently, whatever that means.
Yeah,
So it's a little bit hard to understand.
American or British?
It's an old timey down east Maine accent.
So Maine's America.
No, I think it's more of a English accent.
Okay.
Because it's like an old English accent.
Okay, but Maine's in America.
But there might be
different
also
Maine. Okay.
in
Britain. Okay.
somewhere.
Yeah.
We'll fact check that.
we'll fix it. Yeah, we'll put a
love
disclaimer.
it. Yeah.
My big note next to that is please use subtitles when watching this film,
Okay.
because I think that really improved it for me. Because
I didn't do that. Yeah.
yeah, the first time I watched it, I think we watched it together.
Yeah.
Didn't use subtitles, but we might have used it halfway through because at one point I was like, I don't know what the fuck's going on in this film.
Yeah,
By then it was too late.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think it improves the film a lot more if you use subtitles, because I think if you kind of don't understand it, because it is hard to understand. Similar to The Witch, which
didn't
also
find that.
yeah.
I didn't put.
Do you speak in the old timey
Maine?
Maine accent?
You can tell by the hat. I'm from the era. No, I just had the volume up loud and I just concentrated.
Maybe that was my problem. I had the volume down.
I think
Yeah,
I didn't
it
like
made
having
sense.
subtitles on. I don't have subtitles on
So-
anything because I feel like it takes you away.
Yeah, I'm
you
the
take
same.
your eyes down and you're constantly reading and you're reading ahead as to what's going on. And you're not linking what they're saying to
Yeah.
like how they're acting it.
You want to watch the
So I can't have subtitles on because my eyes always get drawn down and I don't get to take in like what's going on the screen.
What's
you
happening?
missed the picture.
You miss everything, yeah. Especially when they're delivering, like, both of them. When they're delivering their lines, like, I don't want to, like, sit there like, oh, what did he say? Like, read the bottom.
Yeah.
When you look at them, like, they're just acting their little hearts out. And I feel like, I don't have subtitles. But if you are having a lot of trouble, then definitely...
I think overall I would suggest...
Watch it twice.
Watch it twice, once without.
Yeah, once with, once without, yeah.
I think it's worth, like, if you're going to jump into this film and you're kind of not that open-minded about liking this film, I think give it a shot with subtitles first, because I think it's going to improve the viewing experience.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's my little note.
Definitely, yeah.
I guess the film opens up... I'll refer to their character names. So Thomas Wake is Willem Dafoe's character.
Yep.
And then Ephraim Winslow is the assistant, which is Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
So they arrive at the Lighthouse to pretty much work there for 4 weeks. Just the two of them. The ship sails away, and it's just them two. I guess they kind of get to know each other a little bit better, as they'll be kind of working together under the same roof, doing everything together.
Well, you're kind of trapped on an island with one other guy. There's really nowhere else you can go.
Yeah.
So you're bound to get to know each other.
You better get to know each other real quick.
In a good way or in a bad way.
Exactly. So they kind of get to know each other. The starting is like them kind of having like a bit of a dinner. Thomas Wake does a bit of a toast with alcohol. Pattinson refuses him. Oh, sorry. Winslow.
Oh, Winslow refer to him as their character name.
His first name is really strange. Ephraim.
Ephraim.
Yeah. Maybe Winslow is easier to say.
Yeah, well, I call him Winslow and Wake, yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So Winslow refuses to drink alcohol initially. And then Wake really gets into him, saying that it's really disrespectful and it's bad luck for him not to toast or not to finish the toast, especially when they're starting this fucking 4-week thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, they slowly get into it. It doesn't take him too much convincing for both of them to start drinking fairly quickly.
Yeah, fairly quickly. I think they get into the whole... I think it's, only like a couple of times. The whole drinking thing comes about because... the water supply on the island is terrible, and he wasn't told about the upkeep that he had to do. So the first night when he does toast him, he just goes and gets, I'll just have water, because obviously it's rude not to toast. And he drinks it, and you see him squirm because it just tastes like shit. Like nobody's been looking after this water supply.
It's like, might as well.
And he almost throws it. So I think after a couple of nights of drinking the water, he just decides that's it.
I'm going to get on the booze.
Give me the booze. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, rather have the booze than that water.
Yeah, they have. I guess they have a lot of drunken nights from that point, and they get pretty wasted. A lot of shit goes down where they're kind of yelling, dancing, doing all sorts of crazy things. I guess it eventually kind of causes both of them to have a really big night, and they're meant to go home the next day, but they're really fucking drunk, so they wake up and they miss their boat. And there's a turning point for Winslow. He sees this seagull that keeps fucking tormenting him, right? It keeps tormenting him and kind of annoying him, right? It's fucking everywhere. He gets a warning from Wake that he shouldn't. It's bad luck to kill a seagull,
because he believes that they carry the souls of sailors.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's so that's what he says in his thing. He says it's bad luck because seagulls, when a sailor passes away at sea,
it becomes a seagull.
Yeah, exactly. He becomes a seagull, which again ties in with a bunch of stuff that happens later on in the movie, which we'll get to. Yeah, so that's why he warns him not to kill the seagulls.
He gives him that warning, and then there is this turning point where Winslow fucking loses it. He sees the seagull. He's outside. He fucking grabs it and he smashes it against the rocks and fucking kills it.
That was brutal. Yeah,
he kills it.
Yeah,
and literally in the film, the wind changes.
Yeah.
Which also changes the course of the story.
Exactly. At the start, pretty much the whole thing was just a setup to what happens when shit hits the fan, pretty much. When the wind changes, they get lost, and now they're stranded on this on this little desert island. I feel like I think in that part as well is when Winslow, he does one night just says, I've had enough. Like, I want to know why he's up there. So he makes his way up there in the middle of the night, and he finds, like, again, another thing about this movie, it's heavily, like, there's a lot of jizz. There's
a lot of jizz.
A lot of masturbating. Yeah. I assume if you put two blokes on an island by themselves together, what are they going to do? They're going to get drunk, a lot. They're going to go crazy, and then they're just going to masturbate like crazy. So that one scene, I feel like that kind of set up the whole slow descend into madness, I think, for both characters.
Yeah.
When Winslow does finally walk up those stairs to see what's going on, like why he's not allowed.
Yeah.
And he finds Wake's character naked on the floor, ejaculating, and some weird creature sort of like scurrying off into the light.
Right. Yeah.
And that's when he first realized, like, oh, look, what's going on?
What the fuck what's happening up there?
That was, and also him, the mermaid, I think, is also another one of Pattinson's main plot points. That's what Wake tells him at the start. Like doesn't tell him at the start, but he explains that he had a former guy that used to work with him
who died.
Yeah. So he passes away during their stay previously. He said he went crazy and he passed away. And I think as soon as Pattinson sort of sits down in his bed, he finds like a little hole and he pulls out like a little mermaid that this guy made out of wood, I guess. And
he starts wanking hard.
Yeah, he really falls in love with this mermaid, and that's another thing like I like about it. It's never really told to you if she's real or not, or if it's just him.
Well, he has that vision
slowly going crazy
of her like washed up, right?
Yeah, washed up on the rocks, like next to the beach when he's just sort of like doing his daily duties, and he like goes up to her and she wakes up and screams at him, and then he runs away.
Yeah.
So you never really.
Well, that's this thing. Like he's kind of descending into madness, but he's like. Yeah, like he sees that either like you don't know if it's a vision or not, or if it's fucking real or what's happening. So it kind of starts blending in together.
Well, this is the thing. I also read when I was doing a little bit of research.
Oh.
Edgar said that throughout this whole movie, he tried to provide you with way more questions than answers. So he would he was throwing out a lot of things, not really having any kind of like definitive answer to what it was. He was just kind of like, here's this thing, here's this thing, here's this thing. They all tie into a movie, but I think you're left to your own devices to sort of interpret what you think is kind of going on.
So is that the point of the movie, to just, it is what you make it?
I think there's a lot of like theories of what it meant.
Yeah.
And it can be interpreted.
So has he set out many things of what it can be, and it's just what you decipher it to be?
I
hate that.
Well, that's a 66. It's
going to get your rating's going to be lower.
Is the right thing going on?
Yeah. There is a lot of imagery that he uses in this movie that kind of harps back to But he does sort of credit paintings and stuff from the, I don't know, from like the 18th century or whatever. There's like a scene when Winslow's having a nightmare and Wake is kind of like beaming this light from his eyes into his face. That's like apparently a famous painting from back in the day.
It is a famous painting. Let me pull up exactly
what's it called?
Is.
Something Hypnosis, I think it's called, by... I can't remember her name. But
so it's called Hypnosis by a German artist called Sascha Schneider.
Yeah,
from
Sascha Schneider.
1904.
Yeah. So
we'll put it up on the screen. You'll see what the resemblance
looks like. But that's also, I think, like that's part of Winslow's dream, where he's kind of like, is this guy trying to sort of hypnotize him and get control over him while he stay there? So that's like kind of like,
it's like who knows what happened to this previous
exactly,
and stuff like that, So and how he kind of controlled him.
Well, this is why I was sort of brought up like the interesting plot point is that seagull that he kills has one eye. And then later on, when he's fishing, when he pulls out the fishing net, he finds a sailor's head missing, and with the exact same eye that the seagull's missing, which is kind of interpreting that sailor that went overboard or
became
died,
became
the seagull, and that was his previous friend. No, that was his friend that worked with him prior, the one that died. Wake's friend or ex-co-worker. The one that he said died because he went crazy. So he found... So that's what he's saying, that they're linked. The seagull, and that's why the seagull was...
Maybe do something?
Well, that's what I mean. He doesn't really say anything.
It's up for interpretation.
So he does bring it... Winslow does bring it up with Wake that he found it, but there's no real definitive answer anywhere to say, this is what I did or this is what I didn't do.
What about Winslow's interesting past? Because that's also kind of... He kind of puts him out to be like, I'm this guy from Canada, I think it is, and, my name's Winslow. Ephraim Winslow. But it turns out that his name is actually Thomas.
Yeah.
And that he I think he killed someone.
Well, no, there was an accident that he could have prevented, he again they don't really clarify what he did, but they kind of go that he was he'd done some stuff in the past as Thomas.
Right.
And while he was working in this forest, because he used to be what's called lumberjack, that's it. And while he was working, his supervisor got himself into a bit of mischief, and he had the ability to stop what was going on and sort of save him, but he kind of just let him go and assumed the identity himself, and he felt like that he could go and start a new life for himself.
He took his identity.
Yes. So he could have saved him, but he chose not to, just so he can. And that's when he sort of boarded a ship and came out to be a lighthouse keeper because the money's good.
That kind of happens to him. I think he starts having visions of like what he did in the past as well to that guy. That's actually one of my favorite scenes, which was there's this whole montage scene of Winslow masturbating furiously
with the mermaid.
To the mermaid. He's doing it in the supply shed of the lighthouse, and he's having like 4 different visions. So he's having like visions of the past of like either like approaching this guy's back and like trying to kill him or whatever. He's having visions of the mermaid that washed up. He's having visions of the light in the tower. And what was the other one? I think he was having visions.
I think you hit them all. It was the mermaid.
And the squid as well. The tentacles that are like
in the lighthouse.
Yeah.
Is there a squid in the lighthouse that you can't...
That's what I'm saying. That creature that scurries away. Yeah.
So that's like, what it is. Is it a squid or...
That wasn't a squid. The octopus is what he imagines Wake's character in the second part of the movie. When they're kind of having their little scuffle. So that's where the octopus creature comes from. I don't think that octopus creature was in the masturbation scene.
No, it is. It is.
Is it?
But not like, not a lot. It's just like you see the tentacle like go across the screen.
That's
pretty much it. So but it was just like a weird mix of everything. It's like all these visions all these fucking things that he's like, but he's like having a fucking hard wank the whole time.
He was trying to like block those images out, but they just kept creeping back in. Yeah, definitely.
There's a great scene where he comes up to Wake while he's sleeping.
Yeah, he tries to take the key. Yeah,
Winslow tries to take the key to go up into the lighthouse, and he kind of like pulls like a knife or like a shank on him. Yeah. Showing that he kind of wants to kill him, right?
Yeah. So
which is quite violent.
Yeah,
it's a violent turning point for him.
You're right. Yeah, he's that's at the point I think because during this whole time, like it can't be brushed. Wake's really getting into him. He's not really treating him. No. He's constantly abusing him and demanding more. There's that scene at the start where, which again, one of many brilliant Willem Dafoe's outbursts, I think that are part of this movie. One of them is my favorite scene, but we'll get to that earlier. But that scene when he's talking about you need to scrub the floors. It said, I already scrubbed the floors. And then Wake just goes into a tirade. If I told you, you should rip up all floorboards, clean them, and then put them back.
Do the accent.
I can't do the accent. It's so hard. I don't even know what to
what words to use.
So he's absolutely given this guy everything. Like no matter how hard Winslow works, it's just never enough. Wake's constantly on him. So you can imagine if somebody's treating you like that.
Yeah. There's a power shift between us. There's a hierarchy.
Exactly. Well, Wake is the senior guy. He's been doing that for much longer, and Winslow's it's his first trip. So
and he keeps a log of like everything he does.
He does, So he has to. That's how they used to sort of track who gets paid what.
There's an interesting theory of like. I mean, there's a lot of theories of what this film means. A lot of them mention that the lighthouse itself is a penis. It's a phallic shape.
So. I was speaking to Dane a little bit earlier before we started this podcast, but there was a scene. We have this conversation. Totally unrelated, but he mentions Eggers.
Eggers.
Yeah, he mentions that at the start of the movie, there was supposed to be a scene that sort of intertwines Pattinson's erect penis
with the
lighthouse to sort of. To get the viewers to make that connection, being this is what this is supposed to like represent in this like weird story. But when they did testing shoots, a lot of people just did not get it. They're like, what?
Why is this penis on the screen?
So they decided to take it out because they kind of believed it was going to create a little bit more confusion. But it's supposed to...
So what's the point of that?
There's like a theory. I think it's like
What's the theory? Yeah.
I think like some people are like connecting to like Freud and like I think it's Jungian and stuff like that about theories of like ego and things like that, and showing like that maybe
superego.
So it's like I think it's saying that Pattinson's character is like the ego and Defoe's character is like the super ego, and then it's all like about masculinity and this is his penis, which is the lighthouse, and they're trying to figure each other out, but they're trying to kind of like come together. To kind of be one, and they're kind of fighting with each other. There's a whole theory about like subconsciousness and stuff like that, whereas Winslow's trying to bury his subconscious and things like that. And then the light at the top of the light. Alrighty, and we're back. Just a short little break. We were discussing the theory of Prometheus.
Prometheus and Protos, I think. Protos.
And what's the theory? Tell us, man.
So the theory goes, I don't think they're linked. This is the other thing. Protos is Poseidon's son. Of the old man of the sea, I think he's called. But Prometheus was a titan that stole the fire from the gods, gave it to the humans, and then for the rest of his life was kind of condemned to push a rock up a hill and then have his liver eaten by a eagle at the
which happens
which near the end of the movie kind of that's why one of the popular theories is that where
there's a lot of Greek mythology
influences throughout but I don't think those two characters are linked in any way though in Greek mythology. I couldn't find a link between those two. Prometheus is his own sort of story and Protos was the son of Poseidon, which why they're kind of like sort of harp back to Winslow's character being Protos is he kind of curses Winslow, which I don't know if you want to talk about favorite scenes now, if you want to take it, because that's one of my favorite scenes. I think I've got two favorite scenes because I feel like I couldn't do it justice. One favorite scene for these two guys because I think they were both so fucking brilliant in what they've done. So my favorite scene for Wake is that scene where they just get absolutely hammered, and then Wake asks Winslow, "What do you think of my cooking?" And he doesn't like it.
You don't like
and
my
then
lobster?
Like the mother, surely you like my lobster. The mother of all overreactions happens when Winslow kind of disagrees, and I think Wake sort of gets up and just goes on a tirade. I think if you watch that scene. Willem Dafoe doesn't blink for about 2 minutes. Like he sits there, eyes open, condemning Winslow's character, cursing him, and this 2 minute stretch of him just.
They apparently filmed that in one take.
A
single take.
Single take. Yeah, Willem Dafoe just absolutely.
I love that scene as well. That scene's great.
That scene, I just love how it goes from. So funny. Oh yeah, I don't like your cooking, and then just to see how hurt he was.
He was about his lobster.
He was so hurt, and the outbreak, and then just that whole scene of him sort of standing up and just. I think that was brilliant.
You know what I loved about that? The ending of that, the conclusion of that is he has this big monologue.
Yeah,
he's really hurt.
Yeah,
and Winslow's character, his like response to that at the end is like, "All right, have it your way." You know, I like your cooking.
There's no feeling in it. Yeah, you don't really recover from that. But I think that scene kind of that stood out for me in Winslow's.
That was awesome.
Wake's character.
My favorite, or one of my favorites, was and I've described it here as the what scene.
Dude, that's
and it's when they're both kind of staring at each other like what.
Yeah.
And it's Winslow's character. And the quotations here, that's the trouble with you. I want a rare, bloody steak. If I had a steak, I would fuck it.
That's exactly how it starts, So
that's how it starts, So, and then he gets into it and then fucking rages out. And he gets really hurt that, he
didn't like his lobster. But I just think you can genuinely see the hurt in his face when he says this. Like, it's so...
He cooks this lobster.
You just imagine that.
There's nothing else that you can eat.
Imagine that.
They're stuck in this house. Yeah, it's just...
I love that scene. So that was one of my favourite scenes from the movie.
Those ones good. I think it leads to like, kind of the ending of the movie. Well, not really the ending, but leading up to the ending, there's more madness. Pattinson's kind of losing it a lot more. They're not trusting each other. He's trying to go up to the light. There's a lot of shit that's happening. There's still a lot of drinking. They're super drunk constantly. They don't know when the fuck they're going to get out of the house or off this.
Well,
fucking island.
that's how drunk they were getting. I think at a certain point they ran out of whiskey, so they started drinking the kerosene that lights the
made their own
lighthouse. Yeah,
alcohol.
so they just put honey inside a kerosene bottle and drank.
Drank that shit.
It just got to the point of like
Yeah.
complete madness. My second favorite scene was
Yes,
just
please.
before all this sort of broke out for Pattinson or Winslow's character. I think the scene when he finally reads the captain's logbook and sees that. Well, this is what triggers the complete meltdown on both ends. He kind of reads that
Logbook.
Wake's character was pretty much saying that he's a shit worker. He hasn't really been doing anything. At the end of the notes, he says, "I would recommend severance with no pay."
Yeah.
So
He's so cut.
Winslow sees this and he just so imagine that. Like obviously you can understand that side of things if you spend
treating him like shit.
like you spend
He's been doing the worst jobs the entire time.
yeah, like you watch it and like and it's the weather's just harsh and
He's been wanking
brutal
this whole time.
The weather's so bad and it's just and he's getting it from the boss, you know, like and he just finally loses it when he sees after all he's put in, he's kind of been condemned to no money for his whole entire experience being on this. He finally loses it, and that one monologue, which is going to bring up a question that I kind of read online as well. So his one monologue when he sort of just loses it, talking about how he's just fed up with Wake's character.
Yeah.
Just absolutely losing it. But a lot of people, and I would be interested to think what you guys think, because I reading it, it made me think about Pattinson's character a little bit more in this movie. But there's not heavy comparisons, but some people have kind of attributed his performance in this movie loosely on DDL in There Will Be Blood.
Oh. Whose character? Winslow's?
Winslow's character.
His character.
Yeah, how he slowly,
DDL.
same as DDL, how he slowly descends into madness in that movie, in There Will Be Blood.
Interesting.
How he's more fueled by rage because of power. Whereas Winslow is just kind of driven mad. But that one monologue that he gives when he just finally blows up at Wake.
After all this shit.
After all that shit. I feel like just rewatch it. Just rewatch that scene and watch that outburst from DDL in There Will Be Blood. I think there's
it's a good comparison.
It's a pretty... Like I said, when I rewatched that scene after reading that, and I'm like, that's...
I really like There Will Be Blood.
Maybe we should watch that,
Do you like There Will Be Blood?
I haven't seen There Will Be Blood.
Oh, really? Okay, then
It's a really good movie.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've had it on the list for a while.
Paul Thomas Anderson.
Yeah, I haven't.
You like the PTA.
I don't know if I like PTA. What else has he done?
Your favorite film, which is Magnolia.
Oh.
This changes everything.
I will have to put that on my list at the top of the list.
At the top of the list.
But have you seen There Will Be Blood?
Yeah.
What do you think about that? What did you...
I like that, but I haven't seen it in like a little while.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to like remember his whole arc.
Yeah.
But I kind of know.
No. I'm not talking about an arc.
It's just that scene.
No, not that scene. Just the acting. I feel like just the actual acting, because they kind of get to the same point in different ways, just losing their minds and going crazy and
with
like
DDL
whatever.
And Paul Dano's character. In There Will Be Blood.
Yeah.
Where he's like, "You will drink my blood."
Yeah. Like, but I feel like it was kind of a similar sort of, because even in DDL he kind of puts on an accent and he goes crazy, whereas the same mustache, same sort of haircut, old timey, but they kind of get to the same place at the.
I like that.
Have a look and let me know what you think. I was hoping.
So the director's like, look, try and do this.
No, I don't think so. I think Pattinson just did his thing, but I think he did it so well that's why those comparisons might have come up.
Interesting, yeah.
Because
there's a little. Hat off to DDL. A little wink.
I honestly, I can see it. Like watching it back, I was like, that's actually like a pretty good comparison.
That's interesting.
To make. But
maybe he was influenced, like, or
maybe,
yeah.
But who do you? And which brings me to my next question: who was better?
DDL?
No. I'm talking Wake or Winslow, Pattinson or with Dafoe.
It's a tough one.
I know
because I want to get into. Surely we'll get into the creme de la creme.
Yeah,
both of these actors.
Well, this is why I'm trying to get this out of the way, because I don't really know too many movies from both of the guys. This is the issue.
Okay.
Well, we'll run down the list
because I kind of been Pattinson.
Yeah.
I think what was it that I watched? Twilight.
Look, I think
I kind of threw him out.
There isn't a better time
Twilight
to do the creme de la creme than right now. So we might as well.
Okay, well, I just feel like for both,
It's both of them.
Both of them is just because I don't really know.
What? Maybe I can give you a list of what they've been in.
Okay, go.
And it might trigger a movie that you might have seen them in.
Speaking of that, I've made a list of Pattinson movies that I want to watch where they're kind of like talk up his...
All of the 12.
I've got to go back. So I think I'm going to be doing a bit of a rewatch because
Let's start
this
with
movie...
Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, go for it.
Just out of respect.
Spider-Man. That's his creme de la creme. That's his creme de la creme.
Well, I know what Dane's going to be picking. All right, Willem Dafoe filmography, and I'll start at a time where we might recognize some of the films because we probably haven't seen some of the earlier stuff.
Passion? Not Passion.
What
is it?
The Martin Scorsese.
It's not Passion to Cry.
No, that's a gorgeous Mel Gibson.
He's a beautiful man.
What's it called? It's called The Cries?
I'll get to it. I'll find it. I'm sure I'll find
Cries
it.
to Passion?
Where is he? Oh, he did Platoon so early on.
Oh, I think he just
He did Platoon so early. The Last Temptation of Christ.
Temptation, that's what the word I was looking for.
The Last Passion of Christ.
You were so passionate.
It will be the sequel because it's his last.
So they did the sequel first.
Yeah. So they did the... Yeah.
It's like Star Wars.
Oh my God.
So they were first.
I know where the story's going to go. Why don't we just do part 3?
Yeah.
And then work our way back.
Yeah.
All right, Willem Dafoe. Some of these we might not recognize. So I'm going to start with.
Was he in Born on the 4th of July as well?
You shut your mouth.
Oh God, that's hard.
You shut your mouth because he was. All right, we'll start with 1986 Platoon.
Yep.
Then The Last Temptation of Christ. These are just movies we recognize.
Yep.
88. Mm-hmm. There's a great movie called Mississippi Burning, which was also a good one. Mm-hmm. Born on the 4th of July.
Born on the 4th of July.
A movie called Cry Baby, which I think was with Johnny
Was he
Depp.
in Cry Baby?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that movie's so shit.
That movie sucks.
Yeah, dude.
A bunch of different ones that I don't really recognize. He was in The English Patient. He was in Speed 2 Cruise Control.
Oh my God.
This might change everything.
They made a speed.
Sandra Bullock is on the bus again. How does she keep getting into this situation?
Take the train, woman. God damn it.
Buy a car. Drive. God damn it.
I think a notable film for Dafoe is also The Boondock Saints.
Yeah.
Very underrated film.
Yeah.
Personal favourite of my Faja.
Your Faja.
Well, recently recommended to me by a friend from work, and I still haven't seen it.
Oh, I was going to spoil it, but okay.
Good, perfect. Don't
They're
say
all dead. After that, he followed up with American Psycho. Had a role in that.
Yeah, he's the copper.
Yeah. Animal Factory.
See,
The year is... Let me take you guys both back.
I think I know where we're going,
The year
and I
is
like it.
2002.
Yeah, I know this.
There's a hot actor.
I was 10. I was 10. I was running around.
I'm thinking Tuesday night.
I'm 10 years old. I'm happy. Life's never been better.
Movie tickets at $10.
It was the best of times.
My mum didn't let me go movies. So I had to make the scenes up myself in my bedroom. Yeah, so.
A hot young actor by the name of Tobey Maguire.
Tobias Maguire.
Yeah.
In the leading role.
Would he have gotten the same hate as everyone else does, you reckon, back then?
Like right now?
Like, you know how Affleck first got the cast as Batman? Do you reckon back then everyone was like, fuck Toby.
Toby?
He's garbage.
You suck.
Pleasantville. Good movie.
I don't think so because it was pre-internet. I think I don't really...
Keaton was worse than Affleck, they said, when he got cast as Batman in 1989.
But I feel like just the word never really got out as much.
Yeah, or...
since I was a kid, I remember anybody being like told or being like criticized for the roles. Now it's just like, you open up any kind of web page, like, oh, this guy, you gotta be fucking
You
kidding
can
me.
literally cast anyone in anything.
Yeah, somebody's gonna like this. Well, which is a pretty good little. When Pattinson got signed as Batman, I was so pissed off.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
And then I rewatched The Lighthouse, and I'm like, I'm fucking all in.
He's back.
I'm fucking all in.
back.
But anyway, take me back to I was 10. I'm 10 years old. What am I doing?
It's 2002.
What am I doing?
We're all at Village Cinemas. And we're watching the premiere of Spider-Man. Starring our man, Tobey Maguire, and Willem Dafoe as the Green Goblin.
Green Goblin.
God.
What a great role.
And the guy who is now disgraced,
James Franco.
He's in trouble now.
I know, yeah. Seth Rogen said, I will not work with him because So what was he trying?
Friends with him.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're still friends.
Well, what was he? He was trying to get acting students to perform sexual scenes, not like physically, but for acting, and it was kind of not
For the
good of film, for the good of cinema. It was frowned upon by many. So
Willem Dafoe and Spider-Man.
Willem Dafoe, it's a great role. The Goblin. We'll get to that in a second, but I'm kind of leaning towards really liking him in that, and possibly being my creme de la creme.
Spider-Man
over Platoon.
dude.
I'm not a huge Platoon fan.
Born on the 4th of July.
I love it, but that's Tom Cruise, baby.
Yeah.
That's cruise control.
But that's not his creme. That's another.
Oh man,
That's hard. What about after 2002?
really?
Let me hit you with a couple of more movies. Finding Nemo.
Shark bait.
He just
Brilliant
he did
movie.
so many films. Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
Oh, that was
It wasn't really. Spider-Man 2.
as a flashback.
As a flashback.
But who are we kidding?
Yeah, creme de la creme.
He did a lot of interesting films like The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. Wes Anderson.
Yeah. Good
Really
movie.
good.
Good movie.
Really good. He was in The Aviator as a cameo.
Haven't seen it.
He was in Triple X State of Union.
Oh
Man,
my god.
creme de la creme.
Man,
God,
18 years old.
I've never watched a Triple X movie. I'll never watch a Triple
was
X
in
movie.
the
Triple X fan.
Never.
Oh, it's your
What?
girlfriend that
Yeah,
likes
my
Triple X,
girlfriend
yeah.
likes the Triple X.
And you
movies.
nearly broke up with
That was when there was a discussion. What's your favorite movie? Look, I'll take a lot of credit, and I'll give her a lot of credit. We are at a very good place right now in terms of movies, because after hearing that, I went on an absolute rampage to kind of fix. So probably for the next podcast, I'll ask her, and I'll bring up what her favorite movie is now. But that's long gone.
Nice.
Long gone.
After that, he did a bunch of films. I'm gonna have to power through some of these because Dafoe, you've done a fuck ton of films.
Was it more than Cage though?
The Cage Man has done a movie or two. He was in The Fantastic Mr. Fox as a voiceover.
Okay.
John Carter, Dane, your favorite.
John Carter. Oh yeah, he's one of the. Yep.
Out of the Furnace, he had a kind of good role. A Most Wanted Man, The Grand Budapest Hotel,
Nice little cameo.
Great movie. I love that movie.
really good. The Fault in Our Stars.
What?
John Wick
Yeah,
as
John
his little
Yeah.
Fault in Our
helper.
Stars.
Yeah,
He wasn't
You
his.
seen it?
Yeah,
What is he, the dad or something?
I can't remember.
Jesus.
It's not memorable.
Yeah.
So it's not
Creme de
memorable.
la creme? Probably not.
It's The Fault in Our Stars.
Well, this is why. Continue with the list, but this is why I've got a bit of a bone to pick with you and your creme de la creme.
He did a really good film in 2017 called The Florida Project.
Yeah.
Which was
He
yeah.
got nominated, right?
he got nominated and it was a really good role.
Yeah.
Strong contender to win.
Strong contender.
Was he supporting or best actor?
I believe Best Actor because he's kind of the main guy in that film.
Okay.
That's kind of he's this hotel keeper, whatever.
In Florida.
A keeper, just like the Lighthouse.
Oh my god.
Do you think maybe
He's a sick
the
fuck. He
director-
likes these kind of roles. Egger's favorite film, The Florida Project.
Yes, I have to have this.
I have to have him. He was in the Death Note, and then he was in Justice League
And Aquaman.
and Aquaman.
Yeah, and
exactly.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, Aquaman. He was like the
Aquaman.
sensei.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like he's gonna do it. He's gonna kick him.
Gonna do it. 2018 was Aquaman. 2019, The Lighthouse.
Lighthouse. This is why I think. Okay.
Since then, though,
Yeah. Oh my
a
god. There's
couple.
more. Jesus Christ. There's more.
last, I believe it's the last thing. Like Motherless Brooklyn. It's this Edward Norton film.
Oh
he's
yeah,
in.
garbage.
You heard it here first. Heard it here first,
Yeah,
folks.
you don't need to watch
Don't
that
just don't.
before.
Yeah. Definitely not a creme de la creme.
And then he was also in that fucking Van Gogh film.
Van Gogh.
It's about, I think it's about Van Gogh. And that one was also like a Oscar contender.
Okay. But so you're sticking with Spider-Man.
It's called At Eternity's Gate. And apparently it was a really good performance. I haven't seen it, so maybe I can't judge it. But
For you?
for me, Willem Dafoe, when I think Willem Dafoe, I think he's such a bad boy. I think he is the Green Goblin. But
Yeah.
I don't think that is his best performance.
Okay, good. Thank you. Okay.
Because I'll be an idiot.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I was ready to rip in.
Is it his best movie?
Possibly.
Yeah.
It's definitely the moneymaker.
Yeah.
Let's say that.
Oh yeah, maybe, but yeah.
I think that I would put the Florida Project and the Lighthouse. I think he's better in the Lighthouse.
Yeah.
I think he gives a fantastic
Unbelievable
performance.
This is why I don't want to kind of comment on either one of the guys. I'll start with Will. I have not seen The Platoon. It's been on the list for so long.
Dude.
I will have to rewatch that. Not rewatch, but I do have to watch that.
I'm doing The Platoon.
So I will go back and I will watch Platoon. What was it? I've seen Born on the 4th of July.
Christ film?
No, the Van Gogh one you just said.
Yes.
The one you just said.
At
Eternity's Gate.
Eternity's Gate.
And the Florida Project. That's the three. I'll go watch those,
really good.
and then I'll try to make a mistake because, look, they've got to be something brilliant to beat.
He's so good in the Lighthouse.
He's so good.
How do you deliver those monologues in that fucking language? And like, it's just the two of them. They carry the film.
Yeah, like it's just the two of them. Like they do everything.
It's so good.
And like, there's three characters in this. It's them two, and then there's this island that was all created. So they made the lighthouse. There is made out of wood. It's not a real lighthouse. Everything, they just found a little island in the middle of nowhere, and they're like, all right, we'll set up everything there.
Do it there.
So that's the three kind of characters, and the weather conditions as well. They spoke about when they were in them. It was all real. Like 75% of those crazy weather scenes, they didn't even have to bring the weather machines in to sort of make it look like it was just like that. So
that's what they say. They say that they were freezing on fucking.
Yeah,
like it was just raining.
And another thing they didn't speak during the whole movie. So what was happening? They said they were so exhausted by the end of the day shooting that Willem Dafoe stayed in like a little sailor's cottage thing, obviously to stay in character, and he'd go sleep there. And Pattinson would go into the hotel with the crew. As soon as the filming's done, go to bed. Wake up the next morning, come film. As soon as it's done, go to bed. And it's funny, like Pattinson said, for the first time they spoke 2 months after at one of the premieres or whatever. And he's like, William's a really nice guy. I really get along with him. So they made this whole movie in these like treacherous conditions. And
it's like doing that alone is fucking so much work and so much like
just
sacrifice.
Enduring that and trying to act and that's the other reason why I think this movie is so great. Like they used cameras from the 1918, from 1930s, some as old as 1895.
It's crazy.
And they just kept breaking down on them because they were in such harsh conditions that it would take so long to get these scenes.
They had to light everything. Bright. Because they're like, we can't see.
Yeah, because the cameras are so old. So they said the crew would wear sunglasses.
Yeah,
while they would have to act directly into this light. Like, it's insane.
Like one day filming. It's like a 16-hour day sometimes. Like, you don't know. Imagine sitting there.
Yeah. It's just
crazy.
That's why I just can't.
So what you're trying to say is that The Lighthouse is a strong contender for Dafoe's best performance. I mean, he's creme de la creme.
I think so. For me personally, I have to watch those other three. I don't know what kind of a role he plays in any of the other three.
Yeah.
But
he's also been cast, fun fact, in Robert Eggers' next film called The Northman.
All right, now, good thing you brought me onto another little plot point that I had. Is Eggers like slowly becoming one of your favorite directors? Not like what, like when I hear that he's making a movie, I get excited.
If I hear Robert Eggers just released a new film, I'm very excited to go see that film.
Like The Witch, kind of was like, oh my god, this is brilliant.
Yeah.
And like, what are you going to back it up with? Yeah. And then The Lighthouse, and you sit there and I think a Lighthouse, like we spoke about on the Mandy podcast, how beautiful Mandy was.
Yeah.
But I just find me a movie that looks better than the Lighthouse. From everything. No, I'm being serious.
I'll get you.
I'm being serious, man. From shot one, the aspect ratio, the black and white, the weather condition, every single still that they have, the way he just
looks great.
the sea, with at night, the storm,
the mermaids,
the
seagulls.
That's why I didn't want to have any subtitles, because I feel like you're going to be I just sat there.
It's blocking the little square.
And I just think this movie just looks so great. But in terms
creme de la creme for Willem Dafoe?
For me right now, yes.
Fair.
Because I haven't really seen any of those other ones that you mentioned that he kind of...
fuck those movies.
No.
Dane, creme de la creme, Willem Dafoe?
Platoon and Spider-Man for me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Both at the top?
Yeah. Platoon obviously better performance, but Spider-Man... yeah.
When you think,
I just feel like he wasn't challenged in Spider-Man. Well, I think it's just.
But it can also be.
That's a what do you call it? When you're young.
Yeah. That's a nostalgic. That's a nostalgic love to me, because I have that with Nicolas Cage and Gone in 60 Seconds.
Yeah.
Like it's a terrible movie.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Always remember, creme de la creme doesn't necessarily mean it's the best performance he's ever given. It's his creme de la creme.
Yeah.
When you think Willem Dafoe,
for your own stuff,
Spider-Man.
Speed 2,
Control, baby.
I will say, just on your point, Nem, I like The Witch better than The Lighthouse.
Interesting.
I thought it was a lot better.
You know what I would love to do to you?
And cut.
And we cut there.
I think they need a minute.
We'll be back.
I would love to pour some honey on you. I would love to sit you down and make you watch The Lighthouse again.
But I wouldn't allow it.
But I'd make you do it. No, that's fair. But
Again,
I respect.
I personally, no payoff.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to really love the movie.
Okay.
With The Witch, I felt there was a payoff. And there was a
Yeah.
continuous story without too much symbolism and having to...
Well, this is why I can't compare the two. Like, I don't know which one I like more, because they're both are very different. The Witch is your probably more mainstream horror kind of movie. Like, weird things happening... weird things happening in a household that's slowly, characters disappearing, and it all comes to a close at the end, and it's finished. Whereas The Lighthouse, I think, is...
It's a very art house film.
Yeah.
It's not like, here's this horror.
Exactly. That's what I mean,
Something's going on. There's a lot of meaning. There's a lot of symbolism here. You try to figure it out. For the average audience member, that might be a bit like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So see, like,
it's deep.
I can compare Witch to, say, like a Mandy, and I'll say I like The Witch more than I like Mandy. But I feel like this movie, I don't know. They're like, I think this one you kind of have to compare it to more of those,
Can
like,
you give me a movie
arty.
like The Lighthouse? Another movie like The Lighthouse?
What was the one that they did recently? The one was it The Pianist? Was it The Pianist?
Penis.
No, Penis. No,
Robert Pattinson's penis?
No, the black and white movie. Oh my god, I forget what it's called. 2016. Was it the one the Oscar? It was black and white.
The Artist.
The Artist. Sorry. I thought it was
Penis.
The Penis. Sorry. Yeah, The Artist. I feel like
is a
very different film.
Yeah.
No, but I think it's kind of like the same aesthetic. It's like a silent black and white from an era.
Don't give me aesthetic. Give me story.
I can't. Well, what? Like,
hold that thought. We'll take a quick little break.
Okay.
And if you do think of the film, come back to us.
Okay.
Fucking say
I
it.
need to think now, man. That's
And we are back. We were talking about Willem Dafoe. Dane, I believe you were asking them if there's another movie.
Yeah.
That's
I had
is the question.
Yeah.
Is the question? Is there a similar movie? Like, what's a similar movie to this?
Look, I know Katie Couric, but do you have a similar movie?
Probably. What would then compare it? No. Okay. Well, I was kind of. I kind of thought you meant more of a visual aspect. Psycho. Psycho. I feel like Psycho is a similar sort of thing. It's kind of made back in the day, and it's kind of like about a man going crazy. It's kind of a similar, because everything he does in this movie is to make it feel like it was from a time before this time.
Yeah,
He wants to make it feel like with the aspect ratio, the way it looks, the dialogue, everything is supposed to take you back to a completely different time.
Yeah.
Now, what really recently, there might be something else that I haven't seen, but something that I might have seen, maybe, like I said, the Psycho.
Okay.
I feel like that could be like, but that's going back. That's going back down to 50s or whatever. So I would compare it to maybe that.
They filmed it in that square ratio to make everything feel very claustrophobic.
And if it does feel like that, that's what I mean. Like, it kind of makes you feel like what the actors are feeling, because they're on this like remote little island, and now like all you can see is this tiny little square.
That's it. That's all you have.
And it's just them so close, and brilliant movie.
Next up is Robert Pattinson, and we'll get into his creme de la creme.
Yep.
And I'll run down a couple of movies that he's been in
Yep.
that we all love. A lot of interesting films for the Pattinson man. He's had quite a bit of a journey, I think. I personally remember him coming onto the scene with a little film called Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
Haven't seen it.
It's a very sexy Cedric Diggory. I think kind of was. Well, he had a film come out in 2004, which is a year previous to that, which is called Vanity Fair. But apparently it was a deleted scene that he was in, so he never made the cut.
Never quite made the cut.
So he came out on the scene in Goblet of Fire. I think he made a little appearance in the next Harry Potter film, Order of the Phoenix. And shortly after that, the year's 2008, the movie The Twilight comes out. Pattinson blows up. Every little girl
sexy.
wants to be because
he's just sexy. You know,
But the debate back then was, is he sexy? Do you remember?
But that's
he's not sexy, but now he's definitely
sure
that's why he was
sexy.
sexy. It was because it was bad to think he was sexy, so it made him sexier. Yeah,
really?
Because
it's bad to think he's sexy.
Well, that's what people were like. Oh, he's not hot, but
because he's a vampire.
Yeah, no,
gonna bite you.
because people had
By me.
It was that skinny white boy sort of aesthetic. It was just like skinny white and pale, and it was like, oh, that's not sexy, but everybody knows he's sexy.
Nah, I didn't think back then he was sexy.
Oh,
I was attracted to you more,
Willem Dafoe Spider-Man.
Like,
Brad Pitt,
George Clooney.
Yeah.
But I think now that he's matured,
He was a boyish
he's a bit of a
child.
Leo. I feel I remember Leo when he got cast in Titanic. Everyone was like, he's not a romantic.
He's not sexy.
He looks like a little boy.
But
now you
he's sexy.
he was sexy.
Yeah, interesting. But I mean, everyone loved him. He was, super famous.
Look, I think
He was
personally, I did
heartthrob.
not enjoy those movies. I saw all of them. Didn't like them
I hated watching.
Wait, why did you see all of them?
because I felt like I watched the first one,
And he's sexy.
and then I was just like, okay, like I might as well
He is
just see the
sexy.
story out because I've seen and I watch him.
Well, yeah,
would
he
not
makes so much money.
exactly.
You think it's gonna be the next one's gonna be better.
surely it gets better, and then he kind of.
It was
it
like
kind of does.
And when you watch vampire movies back then, you're like, oh, there's like good.
That was the year of the vampire.
It's gonna be
It's the next Blade.
Yeah, 40 days, 40 nights. Like, wait, that's not that
God.
movie, is it?
Oh, that was a
40 Days
good.
of Night.
That was a good
Sorry,
movie
that movie.
with our boy Hartnett.
Joshy boy.
Joshy. Anyway, Twilight fucking takes off. His career takes off. He does a fuck ton of Twilight films. The story goes that he didn't like it. He didn't want to be in that scene. There's a lot of great videos on YouTube of him and like doing interviews where he just does not give a fuck.
Yeah.
They're great. But he tries to branch out by doing a couple other films. He does a little film called Remember Me, which is actually really good.
But that's still in that same.
It's like early days. It's like 2010 and stuff like that. He does Water for Elephants.
Oh, so keen to watch that movie.
Yeah, I think you would enjoy it.
I love a good Reese.
You love elephants. With starring Reese Witherspoon. He does a movie in 2012 called Cosmopolis.
Garbage, I heard.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's that great.
Yeah.
2014, The Rover.
See, heard good things about it.
Heard good things. I actually haven't seen it.
Guy Pearce?
You bet it is.
I think it's an Aussie movie.
Yeah, it is. It is an Aussie movie. I think he does like an American accent in it. I was going to say.
Oh, so he's
if he does
American.
it,
In Australia.
Maps to the Stars. Queen of the Desert. He does a couple of like movies called Life. The Lost City of Z. This is like 2016 now. 2017 comes out.
2017 comes out.
The year comes out, and everyone's like, "What is this year?" The year is 2017. He comes out with a little film called Good Time.
That's the one that's on my list now after watching The Lighthouse.
You haven't seen
I haven't
Good Time?
seen, no. That's what I mean. I completely
See,
binned him. I admit it. I admit I was wrong. I binned him. I binned him after the Twilight stuff. Never really got into anything else. I think I watched, wasn't he in that movie with, what's his name? The guy who plays Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds, where he's buried.
Oh, is he?
And he's one of the agents on the other line. That's
Pattinson
him.
in Buried.
I'm pretty sure he's in Buried.
Jesus.
Pattinson, was
I didn't
it?
see it on my list here.
I think so.
Maybe it's a different actor.
Maybe. I'm pretty sure it's Robert Pattinson. Look it up.
Buried. Ryan Reynolds. He is.
He is?
Yeah.
That's what I mean. You don't see him. He's on the phone the whole time. That was the only other.
It's not like he doesn't show up.
Yeah. He's not in the movie at all. He's just on the phone. He's the guy that
And you recognised him?
Huh? No. I had no idea it was him until that's
He's
what
like,
I mean.
that's Robert Pattinson.
I know that voice.
I know Twilight.
Yeah.
I know that voice anyway.
Yeah, I say I don't like Twilight, but I can recognize just his voice alone in a movie.
That's my boy.
But that's what I said. That's the only other movie that I've seen from him. And like I said, I kind of binned him. I was just I'm good.
That's fair. He made a little turn in his career. He started choosing a lot better films.
I think he wanted to redeem himself.
He wanted to redeem himself because I think at the end of the day, he's a really good actor.
He is,
and he didn't want to be the Twilight guy.
No.
And he was. I think he was making good choices with the films he was selecting, even if it's like little indies. People might not watch it as much, but I think it led to getting these little better roles and working with good directors, like the Safdie brothers, by doing Good Time.
Well, I think you're asked a lot more. I think in terms of acting, those kind of small indie films, because
you get to do more.
You get to do more. Like Twilight, looks sad and hot all the time. You know what I mean? And love this girl. It's kind of like. But I feel like those little kind of movies is where you are sort of brought to the forefront. That you kind of have to, and that kind of brings your range up. Yeah, definitely. Which is then gets you to something like The Lighthouse, which is so demanding. I feel like as an actor, when you hear everything that they've went through, that's hard. Like when you sit there and you watch,
that's a lot of work.
You watch them too, and you're like, "This is brilliant." And then, like I said, you read the conditions and how hard they were working, and you're like, "My God!" Like you gain a lot more respect. So that's why after watching this movie, I looked up Pattinson's best rated movies, went to see what was up. Good Times popped up, and that's going to be something I'm going to be watching.
Up on your list.
So again, that's another one that's right now creme de la creme Pattinson for me.
The Lighthouse.
Them two, I think whatever they do in the other movies, it has to be something bloody special.
So you've watched Tenet.
Yes.
And of course, not his creme de la creme.
No.
Dane, did you like Tenet?
Didn't hate Tenet, didn't love Tenet.
Just in the middle.
Yeah, I still don't get it.
Would you give it a 66 fresh rating?
I'd give it a schmuggy rating. That's another schmug movie.
Yeah, you would. Yeah. So Good Time 2017, High Life, which was this sci-fi film. He was pretty good in that as well. 2019 comes around, The Lighthouse. He did also a movie called The King with Timothy Chalamet. And his accent was really interesting in that. Got a lot of buzz around that. I didn't really finish the movie, but I hear that it's okay.
What on the street is it's not?
I didn't hear bad things.
I didn't hear bad things. He released another one called Waiting for the Barbarians, which is that Johnny Depp film. But I haven't seen it.
When I heard about that.
Yeah, but I don't think it's.
It must be pretty bad.
I think it's really bad.
Anything, yeah.
2020 comes around, pandemic, COVID, Tenet gets released. One of the only films that gets fucking released last year. And that was an interesting film. And then The Devil All the Time, which was a Netflix release. And he had also an interesting character in that.
I hated that movie. Absolutely
hated that movie.
Whatever the opposite of creme de la creme is, that's it.
Shit de la shit.
He's Le Poop.
What's his Le Poop de la Poop?
But I feel like there's one movie that could potentially be his creme de la creme.
And what is that?
Oh, okay.
A movie that hasn't been released yet. A little movie called The Batman, directed by Matt Reeves, which is set to be released in 2022. I believe the heads of Warner Brothers are saying that he is their favorite Batman since Michael Keaton.
I read that the other day, and then I read a week ago. Please fix this movie.
Really?
Warner Brothers saw it. We need to do reshoots. So I'm reading hundreds of.
You're getting mixed messages.
Yeah, and I heard the director hates Pattinson because he's just been a fucking.
Really?
He's just doing what he wants. Apparently, he slept with Catwoman on the Batmobile.
My man, creme de la creme.
Yeah,
my boy.
He's just like,
all right,
can you get to work?
I told you it was sexy.
Wait, go back to this sleeping on the.
What's the story? Apparently, they were having sex on the Batmobile and he got in trouble.
So wait.
Oh no, you shouldn't have sex on camp. Let them do what they want. They're adults.
Well, I guess COVID and
What else are you gonna do?
putting things on the Batmobile. We're gonna film this thing. What's on the windshield?
Open the
Bruce Wayne's.
Bruce Wayne's just. Well, why is the Batmobile rocking? Don't come and knock it.
Bob, there's cum everywhere.
It's kind of like the Lighthouse. I feel like he's followed that direction.
Yeah.
I'm not hearing the strongest things.
Why would they fuck on the Batmobile?
No.
If you're Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, true. Think
You
about
can do anything you want.
Hey, what's her name? Zoe. What are you
Yeah,
doing
so
for
you
us?
come with me.
Yeah.
The Batmobile's
And bring Lenny.
Where's your dad?
far out.
That's
man.
And your
crazy.
stepdad. Bring Aquaman.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
weird. That's
I'm not
weird.
hearing. I'm hearing like hundreds
Mixed
of different
things.
things. Yeah, a new article every week about the Batman. So
But I think it's so hyped up that that's what's going to happen.
it's going to be good or bad.
No. I feel like
It's gonna be
there's going to be story. No. Stories are going to be
Yeah.
coming out.
Yeah,
exactly.
So like,
It's hard to know.
can it be
what's-
100% confirmed that he was doing any of these things? Probably not. That's just
Yeah.
things thrown out. I don't think anybody's going to come out. I hope he does. They're like, yeah, I had sex with her in the Batmobile. Who wouldn't? I would.
Exactly.
I'll put him down
as
as
if
a-
he did, as if Christian
Yeah.
Bale didn't. With
I know.
Oh yeah, they just did
Katie
it.
Holmes.
Yeah.
I'm sure you fucked
There was no
everyone.
COVID back then. Yeah, there was no COVID.
Or Michael Caine.
It's the shite of a during much away. Oh,
I
Wayne.
failed you.
Oh, Master Wayne.
Should I just say the Batmobile?
Oh,
Come in black.
I'll show you what.
You better do.
Oh, you bet, shopping cup.
But yeah,
anyway,
so,
it's crazy.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's good too. But yeah, that could
Well,
be.
all we have right now is
So
one
what's his creme for
trailer.
you? What's his creme to the creme?
You can't say.
It's
Yeah,
the
you
Batman
can't,
trailer.
you can't really go.
No. Obviously, I can't choose the Batman. I hope that it's a great film.
Obviously,
I hope
yeah.
that it's good. I hope it gives a really good performance, and perhaps down the line.
I have so much more faith in him now, man.
Yeah,
I
well,
have so much
think
more
I have
faith in him.
faith in him because of the Lighthouse, because of films like Good Time.
Imagine Daniel Day-Lewis in the Batman. It's kind of what you're getting. No, I'm joking. But I'm joking. I'm joking. Everybody calm down.
Think back to Gangs of New York. Daniel Day-Lewis gets cast as Batman.
No.
No, don't like that.
No.
Forget about it.
Oh, he's like 50 in that
So
movie.
what? But Batman,
Is he?
like, he can be a more
He could have done the
distinguished
Ben
older.
Affleck, aged Batman.
Yeah.
No. Maybe like Master
Okay,
Mohican.
one of the greatest actors in
Maybe
the world.
He couldn't pull
could
off
not play
Batman.
Batman.
The guy who played Abraham Lincoln is going to play Bruce Wayne.
Are you
kidding
saying
me?
that Abraham Lincoln's not like?
Why can't he? Why can't he? I'd like to see the man tested.
Get a screen test for Daniel Day-Lewis right now.
Can someone please test Daniel Day-Lewis?
You never know.
You reckon?
He's 64 years old right now.
Okay, so he would have been 50? 50?
Yeah.
So
that is still-
when did There Will Be Blood?
Let me
because
take,
this is
let me
when-
take you back.
2006, yeah?
2006? That's what, 15
He's
years
just
ago?
released.
What's that, 40?
So he's 49.
49, 48. Man, come on.
Yeah.
You could do it.
I reckon he could do
I
it.
don't think...
But like you go like a
Christian
more
Bale's
of
pretty
a
old.
dark, stealthy Batman instead
you
of
think
action.
Ben Affleck's nearly 49.
Yeah.
Same age.
Yeah.
And how much better does he look than Daniel Day-Lewis at 49?
Better.
Yeah. A lot better, yeah?
A lot better.
Yeah. So he would be like an real aging Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
That's still fucking on the Batman.
Much to like.
But like, because you know how he really like gets into the mind of the character. I wonder
You
what he
reckon
has
he's
to.
that good he could just do it?
No, I think so. I honestly think he would. I don't think he would be the issue with the movie. I think maybe like what they could do with the movie might be an issue because if he's 49 and he looks like he's 66,
I think
Exactly.
there's no doubt in my mind that
could
Daniel
do that.
Day-Lewis could pull off.
Yeah.
Maybe like a
Batman.
young Daniel Day-Lewis. Like last one he
Like, now
like
you're talking.
fit and yeah.
When he could throw
got the
that
long
fucking
hair,
axe
yeah.
over his head.
And that's a battering.
Yeah. That's when he should have been back.
missed opportunity. I'm just saying, Daniel Day missed an opportunity.
Anyway, what's this podcast about? I forgot.
Is it about Daniel Day-Lewis? Bringing it back to the creme de la creme.
So what's your creme de la
for
creme?
me?
Hit us.
It's a bit of a tie, but I think I'm leaning towards the Lighthouse. The other one is Good Time because I think he gives us a really good
I'll
performance.
say good time.
Okay,
Yeah.
go fuck yourself. Yeah, fair. Because I think both of those movies are really good. but
Really good in the Lighthouse. Yeah.
amazing.
I think Lighthouse is crap
yeah.
at all. I just didn't get it.
Yeah. That's perfect. Yeah, exactly. Personal preference with movies. That's fair enough. Some people like some stuff they don't.
Yeah.
But I just think what they do in that movie
Yeah.
is just it demands somebody to be good. Like I think you're a lot easily found out if you just don't have the chops in that kind of movie.
No, of course.
Because everything's in your face. Like the camera's this far away from you. You have to kind of deliver. And I feel like if you're a subpar actor, that movie you would have been
not
found
gonna work
out,
for you.
and they both crushed it. And I just
Eggers wouldn't hire Pattinson
man.
if he didn't believe in him.
Yeah.
And he delivered.
As every director hires their actors.
I really don't believe in this guy.
Give him a chance.
Daniel Day-Lewis is Batman. Oh, give him a chance.
Don't you dare fuck him up, Batman, you piece of shit.
Nah, it's Batman, huh?
So I think that brings us to a little segment we like to call "Who the fuck do you think you are?" And Nam, who the fuck do you think you are in The Lighthouse? Are you Willem Dafoe, or do you feel like you resonate a little bit more with Pattinson's character?
Winslow.
Winslow or Winslow? Winslow.
Whistler from Blade.
I don't know. I don't think. Jeez. It's hard to compare. Like these are like.
Who do you think you are? Being honest with yourself.
Being honest with yourself.
Who do you think you share more in common?
Who did you resonate a little bit more with? You might have not resonated with either of them, which is fair. But who did you resonate?
But I can't.
With
with this movie.
Let's say you're a little sailor.
Okay.
You just arrived at the lighthouse.
Yeah,
you have to do 4 weeks of hard work.
Yeah.
No women around.
Yeah.
You left your wife, girlfriend, whoever behind, boyfriend, whoever behind.
I feel like
you have to stay there. Who do you understand a little bit more? Is it the aged person, the keeper, or is it the assistant?
But I feel like that's what I feel like.
Do the 4 weeks and get out.
No, I feel like if I had to choose between the two,
it'll be the Lighthouse.
Oh my God.
It's not who you want to be.
That's what I'm trying to say. I don't know, because I don't feel like I'm when we're Wake, as in, I'm not very I'm not going to be authoritative in any kind of shape or form. But then I don't feel like I take the shit like Winslow does for most. Maybe more than Winslow, because he kind of does have that outburst. I feel like a lot more people would resonate with that being
if your boss was like,
if your boss is writing you every single day, you're kind of going to go a lot more crazy.
Yeah. So you resonate with that.
You can resonate with that. But then again, I have been, in my own job, I have kind of had apprentices where when they're kind of not doing when they're not doing shit right, you kind of have a go. So that's what I'm saying.
So you understand that side of things.
I can understand both sides, because I feel like both characters are what they need to be in the movie. For the reason everybody can relate to both characters. Well, not everybody. I guess if you've had people work under you, you can relate to Wakes. And if you haven't, you can pretty much relate to Winslow.
So it's a little bit more Winslow, I think, for you.
More Winslow, because I'm just I've been authoritative before in work, but not to that extent.
Not to that extent.
But then again, I've been treated like shit, where I've kind of had outbursts and gave it back. So I feel like
interesting.
I'd probably give it more Winslow.
Fair. Dane, who the fuck do you think you are?
I think Winslow. I would never be because I've never been in that authoritative position where I'm this guy's good. I'm going to let him know about
Suck.
it. Yeah, so I think Winslow for me.
Interesting. I think that I'm going to have to choose Wake.
Yeah.
Because
I think you're the Lighthouse, because you're a huge dick. You're just a huge dick. That's what I think.
I think the only reason I choose him is because, going back to your favourite scene where he doesn't appreciate his lobster, I feel like I do a lot of cooking. Right? And I've felt on certain occasions.
I all your food cooking, but you dare call me.
You fucking better appreciate my cooking.
It's not me.
At times, I felt like people did not appreciate my lobster. So for that reason alone, you're
going to go with Winslow? Wake?
Resonate a little bit more with Wake's character.
See, nobody hates my cooking, so I can't resonate.
I am perfect in every single way.
Everything's been amazing so far.
There you go. I like that. And I guess, do you feel like there are anything that we kind of missed? Any theories? Any other moments or memorable scenes that you'd want to mention?
I think everything on my end anyway was.
Dancing?
It's great.
Yeah, that's probably my favourite.
Yeah,
it's good. Yeah,
I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. But
that's their slow descent into the madness, where they kind of have go from hating to loving to hating to loving.
Yeah, that's what
they kind of seem good at that point.
Yeah,
but that's them drunk, and then they sober up.
Yeah.
I think we've all also been there, where you get a little bit drunk and you hate your friend, then you love your friend,
and you miss the boat,
friend, and you miss the boat.
Yeah,
shit.
It's interesting. Yeah. Any other theories do you think that we might have missed?
How much time have you got? Because there's so many more.
There's penises all over.
Yeah. There's a lot of theories out there, and I think if people really want to delve into this whole world and what was created, you can.
Look it up.
We'll be here for another 2.5 hours discussing every single theory.
Yeah.
I feel like the two main ones were sort of brought up. The Prometheus, Greek mythology, and all that sort of stuff.
The psyche kind of thing. Yeah. Fair. Any final thoughts on the Lighthouse? Loved it.
For me, 95. I just can't find too much wrong with this movie. For me personally, I Loved from the opening scene to the last,
Yeah.
to the credit, to the song at the
From
credits.
the first wank to the last wank.
From the opening scene to the song in the final credits, I just loved loved the ride. It was great. Yeah.
Dane, would you consider watching it again?
Well, look, you guys said I'm going to go to a 70.
Yeah.
I'm going to go up to 70. I think I've dropped 20 points. Because nothing you guys said makes sense. No. I think I'm going to stick to where I am. Again,
6%.
I appreciate everything you guys said.
I appreciate you guys.
But again, we tried. I hate
we tried
movies that you have to. It's your interpretation.
Yeah.
No payoff. No story. I'm not like I don't love them the most. I like learning a lesson, payoff, all those different
Growth.
things. Yeah, growth. Growth's one of my favorites.
You love growth in films.
You've read my scripts. Growth, right? When you give them back.
Yeah, brilliant.
But still, I think well made, well acted. Definitely worth watching if you haven't seen it. Wouldn't not recommend it.
At least give it a chance. You might like it.
Yeah.
You might hate it.
Yeah.
But put the subtitles on. That's what I like to say.
Yeah.
I really loved it. I would also, stick with my really high rating of 90, maybe 91. All right, fuck Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, what do they know?
Give it one more.
I'm
more
2
of
from
that.
2, by the way. I want to go.
You're doing really good.
3, yeah.
I want to check that why you're wearing it. Definitely recommend it. It's available on Amazon Prime. Give it a watch. Put the subtitles on. It might make it a little bit better to start. If you don't like it, turn them off. Whatever. But yeah, Lighthouse, great film. Thanks for joining me today.
No worries.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Dave.
Yeah,
It's a good time. And check out our other episodes and subscribe. Maybe, give us a couple of
Just
views.
a like. I don't know, man. Is that hard?
Tell your friends. Yeah.
Just email us. Leave a comment.
Just view it, like it, and then close it. Like, don't.
Yeah.
If you don't like what you
just
you
like
still
it.
like, please
Watch it.
Come on,
Send it to someone.
Send get this thing to blow up.
Send it to your friends. Annoy them a little bit more. But before we sign off, anything that you'd recommend to the crowd in terms of anything that's been released recently that you'd recommend watching? Have you watched anything that's cool?
Yeah, well, I'll have a couple of end of podcast recommendations. A couple of things I watched this week.
A lot of porn.
Quiet Place 2. Cinemas are open if you're in Victoria. Go out, check it out. Follow up. Brilliant. I've also watched Bo Burnham's Inside, out on Netflix, comedy special.
It's great.
It's so brilliant. I think the songs are catchy. I think the story is interesting. And I don't know if Dane will like it now with his comments, like you don't like your own interpretation of things. It kind of like it could be interpreted in a few different ways. But if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. Hour and 20 minutes. It's a quick
lot
view.
Of catchy, fun songs.
The album's out on Spotify as well. So if you end up I've downloaded it. I've got